Now live. I'm just making sure if I got something about ducks in a row. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the South Edition of Phoenix. Those that are on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live, welcome to the Phoenix Business Exchange on the South End. And we get together every Thursday in our group. And we just recently turned over to a hybrid system where we are not only meeting virtually, but once a month we get together in person. And that's happening on May the 30th. So if you have a business, if you want to get people to look at your business, to look at you, that's the place to go. If you want some more information about that, we're meeting at the River Lounge on Prince of Wales, very close to the Hunt Club Road in Ottawa. And this is where you could get a lot of more exposure because it's people that buy things. It's not just the social media getting it out there. Your message is important to a point, but it's when you look at a person, can they trust you? They can. It's better when you're in person. So hopefully you'll be able to come to that. So we get together every Thursday and we try to help each other in some way. There's whether it's in referrals or whether you need a sofa moved, or there's many pieces of advice. There's collectively there's probably about 500 years worth of experience collectively in our groups. So there's a lot of experience regarding business, regarding life, regarding just things that happen, and you want to draw on that. You don't want to be making all the mistakes in the world that has happened already. Try to learn from other people. And that's really where, when you tap into some of the great resources that we have, that's the kind of thing that you get. And every time I look at people helping each other, then you'll want to help other people too. It's sort of a collective thing. And that's how business is done. And if you don't understand people, you're not going to be good in business. Trust me. So I give you a little bit of background here of how Phoenix is doing. We've had quite a lot of activity going on. This is our main site. It's pbex.ca, pbex.ca, and this is the hub of everything that we do. The member of the week this week is Sam Sturis. He's our auto electronic and mechanic category, and he's been with Phoenix for I've got to be close to 6 or 7 years. Yeah, probably it's 7 years, and that's an amazing man. He's just so giving, and he's very organized, very knowledgeable. So being in that industry really is a plus because it's all about details when it comes to fixing your car. So highly recommend it. There's a video there from Sam, so highly recommend that you go to check that out. And if you have any visitors, or if anybody have any visitors you want to come in, these are the red buttons that we look at for you to come in. The Zoom is embedded inside each button, and this way you'll be able to join us. That's the whole idea. Once a month we have our after hours group. It's more of a mastermind group that we get together and we talk about goals. We talk about things what will make us more profitable, what will make us more balanced, and the whole thing. And there's a little bit of networking in there, but mostly it is about getting together. And all of our Phoenix members can come in for no charge. It is just basically finding out how you're doing with it. If you are unable to come to the weekly meetings, this is one great option where you can come once a month in the evening, and this way it doesn't interfere with your daily routine if you're that busy. Special events going on. Every Tuesday, Bernie has his East Trade Winds networking going on. And again, the link is right in that red button. It starts at 8 o'clock every Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time. If you're in another country or in another time zone, then this would really probably be a good thing for you to get and reach out there, so that if you want international clients, if you have a business that you can connect to people on Zoom or with WhatsApp, this is a very good option for you. I do my meditations every Friday at 1:30. This is a great way to unplug, and it's a great way to really find who you are and get those juices flowing. That because if you're doing well and you're balanced, so will your business be. And to continue on a physical perspective, Chen Li has her dancing, and there's a whole host of different times and schedule that she's on, and that's the link for that. In Bell's Corners, we're going to be meeting in person May the 27th. It's a Monday, and that's the same week that we're going to be meeting at the River Lounge as well, on that week in person. And the East Winds, or the East end part of it, that we're going to get together on June the 5th. So this way, there's a very good balance as to how we're going to meet in person. This is what we really want. We want to be able to meet in person because it's that great human connection that we all really love. The QR directory is right here. It's all been reformatted as well. Now we have the person's name and what they do. That's one of the things that people were commenting on. There were just names before, but it's being reformatted. And on your phone, this looks amazing. Everything's all lined up really nice. So, and if you're at a trade show and you want to be able to refer somebody, it's all in one place. And there's also what we call a QR directory booklet. This is new. We just added this. And what this does is it just gives you everything in a booklet form based on our chapter. So this is all the Bell's Corners group, where we meet every Monday, every Wednesday when we meet for the Wednesday group and the East End. This is all the people that are there. They're a great bunch of people. And this is our South End group where we meet, and their QR and everything else is embedded in there as well. Okay, so check that out, and you can actually print that up if you ever have to go to a trade show, and it's just all in a book. That way someone could just scan it just right from the book. So it'll be very handy in that way. Some of the businesses that we're doing, over $70,000 worth of business we've traded so far this year, since January 1st, 24, and that adds to the 4.6 million that we've traded over the last 8 years that we've been in existence. We started this in 2016, and we've gone through a lot of changes and a lot of shifts for sure, and 201 referrals so far this year, and over 7,200 referrals again since we started. So it is all about connection. It's all about referrals. It's all about just getting to know someone, and you're part of a group. And that's really where the strength is. Our e-cards, every one of our Phoenix members gets an e-card. This is an electronic business card where you have a QR, but you can also take that and show it to someone in a supermarket. And it's better than a business card because it goes straight to their phone and then onto their contact information with just clicking of a couple of buttons. And that, so far, we're hitting 4,138. And I was mentioning to Bernie that it is really odd that last week we were at 3,100 clicks on our e-card, and in 1 week it blows my mind that we hit over 1,000 hits. And what this means is that these are people that don't have your information that want it. And from a collective, what that means is that down the road, when they are in the market for buying a house or getting their car fixed or coming in for a reading or doing a dancing lesson, whatever it is, then they have that information already. To somebody that already has your contact information, they won't click or look at the QR because they already have it. So this is very substantial, because when a person gets a new phone, all the contact information goes onto their new phone, and they'll have that for literally 10 years. There are contacts in my phone that I have that I don't even know how I got it in there, but I know it's over 10 years old because I've had that for that long. If you know somebody who wants to know more about Phoenix, there's the QR for Phoenix, and they can also apply right here online. And we're also heavily involved with charity. We have our golf tournament coming up on August the 1st at the Canadian Golf Course and Country Club in that time. And Bernie, do you want to talk a little bit about that while we're on the subject?
Certainly, Tony. So it's a 9-hole game, carts included. You get fed, and best ball. And if you're not a golfer, that's okay. If you're a golfer, still okay. Yeah, we're seeking out prizes, sponsors. So if you have some bling to give away or swag, either end of the spectrum, bling probably. That's it, Sam. The keyword t-shirts. That'd be perfect, though. That'd be perfect. And so it's going to be $111, and it's going to be at the Canadian. So it's play, you're having fun, but more importantly, you're getting to connect with people. You're basically going to have a continuous business activity meeting with 3 other people, or potentially more people, depending on how you're clustered in and how gregarious you're feeling. What do
Yeah,
you, Tony?
getting a golf cart and being fed and the golf is a great value for $111 for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. So let's move right into our education, words of wisdom, and let's turn it over to Mr. Eric Perrin.
All right, bonjour tout le monde. All right, so I have done a whole bunch of soul searching for CRMs, follow up with your clients. What's the best way to do it? I had a Zoom call with an expert in the field. Her solution was not for me, but my takeaways were this, which was really interesting. If you want to make sure that you have a business, a proper business, and you want to present yourself, you're far better off to not have the eric@gmail.com, eric@hotmail.com, or any of those free email services. You also want to make sure that you are, when you're using those free email services, there's a very high chance that if you send one email, it'll get into the inbox. If you do a multiple email system service where you're sending out a newsletter or something, because it's a free email, there's a very high probability that it's going to go to junk. So what's the solution? The solution is this. I have ericperron.ca as a domain name with GoDaddy. In GoDaddy, you can get an email service from them, but that's not the best solution that you can do. So the best solution that you can do is go to Google and go to their workspace. So Google Workspace. And within that, you pay, I think I'm going to be paying $18 a month for their email business service. So it's a certified email business server that's going to be taking care of all of my emails for work. The reason that you're doing that is that the free emails are archaic. They're pop whatever. I'm not very technical with all this stuff, but they are archaic and they're not necessarily upgraded. But Google, as you can imagine, the power of Google, what they do with your membership is they're going to make sure that they are regarded and received from a receiving email system as a true business that's been authenticated, that is safe and that is secure and that is not some spam from another country. So what you can do, which is really interesting, is that I have ericperron.ca at godaddy.com as my domain name. I can go into Google Workspace, sign up, and then it says, what would you like your email to be? So I now have eric@ericperron.ca. So now I'm in Google, but my domain is in GoDaddy. Google says, okay, that's great, but we don't recognize that domain. We need to authenticate it. So then it goes back to GoDaddy. It gets the authentications that you need. And then now GoDaddy and Google Workspace are speaking to each other. So now I have the best or the latest software taking care of my domain name, and I have a daily updated software taking care of my now email. That email, of course, as you know, I can put it on any platform I want. I can use Google Mail on Google's webpage, or I can add it to my laptop. I can add it to my phone. And now I have all of the services of a proper business Gmail address. It's not the Gmail free email anymore. It's the upgraded version. Here's where it gets one step further. I now am using Follow Up Boss CRM. So the CRM is so crazy important to put all of your clients together so that you can do newsletters. And that what's cool about the one that I'm now going to be using on a monthly basis is I can actually dial out directly from the software. I can actually text directly from the software. I no longer need to also save that data entry into a contact in my Apple contacts, because I can do everything within the Follow-Up Boss. But here's the kicker. If I use Follow-Up Boss with my free Apple email, all of the emails being sent out were going to the junk boxes. So your clients are never going to see it. So that's why you need the Google Business email, because once I connected that to my CRM, all of a sudden, everything has become legit. Everything gets authenticated between all of the services. So now when my personal Apple free email receives an email from there, from Eric Perron, the business guy, it goes directly into my inbox. So there's a lot of detail. And if anybody in this chapter or another chapter is looking to do something like this, please let me know. It's really important to make sure that you now have elevated that level of business. I see still a lot of people using the free email services, and they're just nowhere close to, the power of having your own business email. So that's my education for the day.
Very good information, Eric. The perhaps I've actually recorded that, and we'll see if we can work that into some kind of an education somewhere on the site. But if anybody wants any information on that, we can maybe get together some people, and we can do like a little powwow and go through some of that, so that we, because that's a big thing. If you're sending out lots of emails to people and they don't get it, that is a thing. Yeah.
Well, it used to happen
I
to me all the time. And that's why I changed from one CRM to another. And then I had to change from one CRM to another. And then the
Yep.
other thing that I was told by the specialist is that I was using Angle Invokers, everything, because for me, when I went to Angle Invokers from Remax, I was just like, that's just the easiest thing I can do. So let's just move on. The issue becomes if I end up moving from Angle Invokers, or if Angle Invokers stops operating in Ottawa, now they have all of my emails with my clients because it's on their server, you know?
Right.
So, and so now I have ericperron.ca going to my Angle Invokers website, but what would be even better is if I can create, just like Steve does, my own website specific to real estate so that everything is within my domain and my business.
Yes. Yeah, and you can change it and you have control. Yeah, very smart. Smart. Okay, let's get right into the introductions. Let everybody know what kind of amazing people we have. Um, let's start with Steve. Steve, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'll start by saying Eric, he takes the wind out of my sails. He's right on the money with this this stuff. I mean, just listen, Eric, I'm a digital marketer. I really applaud what Eric just said. There's a lot of little tips like that, things like that that go into digital marketing. And he dove right into a very crucial point because your email marketing is one of the things that people forget. They get all huffy and interested in, or excited, I guess, distracted by social media in general. And should I be on TikTok and God knows what other? I mean, a lot of us are on Facebook. We should probably, as business leaders, all be on LinkedIn. But email is huge, and Eric just dove right into some of the finer points that come up when you're trying to help people with their email marketing, and stuff getting stuck in spam boxes is the big frustration for everyone because they got so much more into the privacy laws. So that's why it's so much stuff gets stuck, and they don't like Gmails, exactly like Eric said. It's unless you've got the business version of everything, you get held up. So he really yeah, he did a great job just there. I really applaud what he just said. And if you guys are interested in getting more info on this, I'm currently looking at Norm's site, for example. He's not on the meeting today, but I don't think he is. But at any rate, I'm looking at his site and giving him feedback. So by Media Design, helping you leverage your online content.
Oh, okay. And over to Penny Lee.
Good morning, Penny Lee Prevo, the Dancing Motivator, co-founder of the Graduate Thrivers Incorporated. What I'm looking for are individuals who would like to increase their vitality through a movement practice. Perhaps somebody who has chronic pain and would like to find a solution to be able to relieve some of that discomfort. So what I do is I offer online Zoom classes as well as in-person classes for movement called Moving to Heal from Nia Technique. And it is a very gentle way to allow your body to regain the mobility through gentle movement, but also to realign all the bones and muscles so that there is no tension on pinching nerves and so forth. So it's a lot of fun. It's done to movement. You do not have to be coordinated to do it. It is simply a matter of being guided to move all your muscles and bones, all 700 muscles and 200 bones in a 1 hour practice. Movement is medicine.
Thanks a lot, Penny Lee. And over to the lovely Jacqueline.
Good morning, everyone. I know this morning on this crazy sunny day, I lifted my shoulders and I took them back and I released them down. And I thought how excited I am to be taking Yoga for Your Personal Finances on this seven-day series. It is teaching about money, teaching about yoga. But more importantly, right now, I've been asked, Jacqueline, can you do a home buyer presentation? That would be chapter 4 that talks about money and credit scores and down payment and. It's a hybrid. It was in person and then it was Zoom. We're going to do both. So at my mortgage brokerage, I will be teaching Yoga for Your Personal Finances. The first one will be homeowner opportunities. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, whether it's with yoga or not, call your mortgage honey.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. Contact information is now in the chat. Well, let's see. You guys know dash cameras are my main thing. Also do minor repairs, cars, brake jobs, oil changes, all kinds of stuff like that. Even car cleaning. I like doing car cleaning. Yes, Jacqueline, we're going to do an oil change for you soon. Just let you know, brake jobs. Well, I've had a couple in the last little while. In fact, our member Q came to me and said that the dealership she went to told her she needed brakes and told me what they gave her as far as the estimate goes. And when she came here to get her brakes done by me, because I was much cheaper than the dealership, she didn't need brakes. So if somebody tells you you need brake pads, and you might want to go take a look. And honestly, if there's more than a quarter inch, half a centimeter of brake pad still there, you don't need brakes. So even if they tell you or if they show you a piece of paper that says you need it, go look. Unfortunately, brakes, you spend $1,000 on brakes now just for the front end of a car. Crazy what they'll suck you into sometimes. Anyway, things going on this week. I assume we're doing BAM-wise. Dave, our friend, our meat guy, Dave Belleville, was here earlier in the week. He had a scuff on his rim that he blames the car for doing. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I fixed up his rim for him and got it back to a black color. Let's see here. Oh, Steve Brennickmeyer. He was here just yesterday, and I did front brakes for his vehicle. Hopefully everything's going well with that. And, oh, I mentioned the T-shirts. Yes, my new T-shirts. And even has a QR code on the back of it with all that stuff that I do. So I'm going to donate a bunch of those to the golf tournament later in the year, and hope everybody has fun. That's it for me, Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a hell of a lot more.
And Penny Lee, what kind of BAMs did you have? I forgot to ask. Any
Okay.
referrals?
Yep. I had a conversation with okay, just let me think here. So I had business with Susan Ebbs, ongoing business with Susan Ebbs. I had a conversation with Terry Black and Ema.
Okay. And Steve, can you hear us? Okay. He's in the white. Jacqueline, how any BAMs or any referrals? You're on mute.
Mute.
I-
With Ottawa Flowers, I'm excited to see her again. However, she's going on vacation, so it'll be her staff who are going to be helping me out. And then, of course, Sam. And I think that's it for me.
Okay. 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 Bernie, over to you, sir.
Oh, you know what? Sam speaks the truth about brakes. And I'm gonna say that he saved me because we had two vehicles, and people say, you need brakes. And in one instance, one of the ends of the car needed it, the other end of the car didn't, and each time it was like $300-400 savings. So that alone makes Sam worthwhile. Plus, you also get advice like you need to do this, you need to do that, based on the type of car you're driving, because all cars are not perfect, and if you have a perfect car, then you have to wake up, because it ain't so, Joe. So what do? I meet people. I have a chat with them. Sam's a good example. Someone says, "Listen, I need brakes." I'll send them to you. Kind of live and breathe the Phoenix universe. I'm also involved in East Trade Winds, and as you already heard from Tony. And then you'll find in the link there past speakers that have presented. Take a peek at some of that. You might find it of value. You might even find Jacqueline in there. Just saying. Got a podcast called Knack for Business. It's engaged in the space again, talking to people, and it's a tool. The interesting thing, Eric, you're right about the email and the platform. World Referral Network has. If you end up being a member inside that space, they have something called Go High Level, which handles your website, your CRM, your funnels, your email marketing, and your calendar booking. So, again, when you're exploring, that's another opportunity. And you know what? Eric's extremely right. You can't go in with just a Gmail, Hotmail, or Yahoo account, because then you come across like a Yahoo. Even when I was working in the corporate world, if you came across and I saw your email address and didn't have your professional business name embedded in there or something akin to that, I mean, how small are you? Can you handle something big? It does leave an impression. It's the same reason you don't show up in dirty clothes to sell someone's house. Unless, of course, that's what makes the buyers and sellers work. Anyhow, over to you, Tony.
Cool. Thank you, Bernie. Yeah. Having somebody show up in a three-piece suit, all white, to clean my chimney. I'm not sure if I want that either. But yeah, you do say something for sure. When you were working on your different marketings, having a professional background is very important. But what I do with my clients is I'm a spiritual coach. I'm a medium, clairvoyant, and anything to do with outside of the mind is what I work on. So it's when the clients that I'm looking at is the people that are educated, the people that have a lot of academic ability, but they also are aware that they are only going to be able to go so far. They know that somehow intuition and predictions and various things do have a place in the various decisions that they make. In some countries, they don't make a move without some kind of a guidance of what looks good and what feels good. And they balance it with, okay, is this really what I should be doing to keep on my path? When we make all of our decision based on what we see and what people are telling us, and those can both be deceived. And I had one a couple of days ago where somebody was just halfway through the conversation whether or not they should get into partnership with somebody, and I was already getting a no. And I said, is this someone within your family? because I'm getting it's very close energy, so it's like a family member. Actually, it's my uncle or whatever. I says, no, no, you don't get into business with family, you know, because a lot of times you can't get rid of that person, even if you know that they get in. But over and above that, a lot of family ones do work. But this particular one, I was getting an absolute no. And that's what you want to find out. What does Spirit have to say about what the decision you're about to make? If it is not life changing, not a big deal. If it doesn't work, no big deal. But if you're contemplating marriage, you're contemplating something that's going to last 50 years, I would get a reading. That's something life changing. Going in the wrong direction could take you a long time to come back. So we're basically looking at intuition for professionals. We focus on those things, especially around their home, around their office, that all means something. And so, if you know somebody that's looking for a reading, Tony Jennis, hire yourself. I'm here to raise your spirits. Now, every week we give one of our members more of an opportunity to talk about themselves, but to talk about their business and their industry than more in a 1-minute segment like you've been seeing. And this week we're showcasing Eric Perron. He's the same professional that looks at every part of his business, and you all not only have to be good in your art, you also have to be good in how you work with that art. And Eric is the man. Eric, take it away.
All right, giddy up. Here we go. So I'm Eric Perron. I'm your real estate advisor with Engel and Volkers. What I'm going to show you is a presentation that I have finally, I think, finished and almost perfected. You could never get perfect. But I presented this last night. It really flowed well, and I was really super happy with it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And it is my keynote. I think it's that one that I share. All right, so you should see a screen with listing consultation on the front. You see that? Perfect. All right, so I think I'm going to now be in full screen. So what I do is this is my second appointment with the client. With the prospect, I should say. They're not a client yet. What happens is the first appointment I do is I walk through the property with them. I get them to speak to me about the highlights of the property, the things about the property that they like the most, and what attracted them to the property when they purchased it, and what have they renovated, what have they added to the property since they've purchased it. And then from that, I take pictures of all the different rooms, the yards, the whatever. And I say, I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a market evaluation for you so that when I present it back to you, I'm going to have a whole bunch of different properties, etc. So the meeting agenda for the second appointment, first of all, we're going to do introductions. It's a chance for you to interview Eric. So please, at any time, make sure that you ask Eric any questions you want whatsoever. Stop the presentation whenever there are questions that you might have or when you need more information. I'll stop at any point in time. So during my presentation today, I'm going to say the same thing to everybody in the audience. Make sure that if you do have a question, don't put your hand up, just cut in, ask me a question. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at your real estate needs right now is that you're going to be selling your property. So we need to know where you're going to be going to, when do you want to go there to, who are you going to be doing that with, and who are you making your real estate decisions with, and why are you going to be making that real estate decision? Then we're going to go into your previous experiences of real estate and what your expectations are in not only real estate, but in the agent that you're going to be hiring. Then we're going to be looking at listing your property. And actually, I have to add to this because before the listing versus selling, we're going to look at the advantages of your house, what objections some buyers may have, and what solutions can be provided in order to make this overcome some of the objections. Then, so I have to add that into the slide. We're going to look at what is listing a property versus selling a property. What marketing strategies will we be utilizing, and where do you have advantages using myself and Engel and Volkers? Then we're looking at the listing price determination. And then we're going to discuss your trust level, your comfort level with everything that we have discussed. And then we're going to discuss what next steps might be. In this meeting agenda, is there anything you'd like to add or take away from this agenda? So this is the moment where the prospect will give my feedback, or they say, no, keep going. So what I do then is, where are you moving to? Oh, well, I'm moving to Toronto. Fantastic. Toronto's a big place. Where are you specifically moving to? Mississauga? Is it, North York? Whatever. And the reason I ask Mr. and Mrs. is because I have a network of realtors that I can refer you to make sure that they take care of you on the buying side. So sometimes they'll say, oh, well, perfect, great. I need some help or whatever it is. Great. When do you plan on doing that? Well, I want to do it in 6 months, or you know what? I got to move in 2 months because. Great. Now I understand the reason for the move-ish, or with the timing of it at least. Then I always ask, who is making the decision? Sometimes you're going to have one person at the table, but there's another 2 people that couldn't make it, and they are going to be just as important in the decision making. So you don't want to waste your time either by doing all of this beautiful presentation, but not having all of the decision makers in place. So then I ask, how can we get all the decision makers to be in the same room, whether it be Zoom, whether it be in person, so that we can all make sure that all the information is discussed and all the questions can be answered. And then the biggest thing, and Tony Robbins always talks about this, what is your why? Why are you making this move? I'm trying to get closer to my kids. Fantastic. Why do you want to get so much closer to your kids? Because I want to go down to the lake and fish with my grandkids or whatever. Now I'm starting to understand the emotional aspects of it all. And that's super important, because as salespeople, we can never, ever assume why a client is hiring you, especially in real estate, because 99% of realtors, salespeople will say, oh, they're hiring us to get the best price on the house. That's absolutely false. And who am I to pre-answer something in somebody else's mouth? My ego it cannot exist in this business. I have to know why they're moving, and then I can help them with that desire and give them the information to help them with that. So there's that. Previous experience and expectations. Have you sold a property before? Yes, I have. Okay, great. What was the experience like? Oh, it was horrible, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've even had people, believe it or not, use another realtor after they had met me. And I followed up with them after the sale because I knew them through another client, and they were family and whatever. And they said, Eric, it was the most horrific experience ever. I will never use them again. Now I have to buy. Will you be my buyer representative? And I'm sorry I didn't use you to list my house. So don't forget, right? Like, don't have the ego that, well, if they didn't choose me, I'm never freaking calling them again. That's ridiculous. Follow up with them. They're humans. They have emotions. They have needs. And sure enough, now she's my client going forward, and she refers me people. So don't expect anything. What did you like best about that experience? What did you like the least of that experience? And then what are your expectations? So all of that gives me a why they are moving emotionally. What did they like best? So what can I cater to? And then what can I help them with when they liked it the least? Are those things that we have no choice but to go through, or can I sort of try and alleviate those and minimize those things? And what are your expectations from me? I need to know what your expectations are from me before you hire me and before I work with you. It's a two-way street here. I have to know that I'm going to be able to provide you with the best service, because maybe I can't. Maybe our personalities are different, and maybe you're best served somewhere else. I don't know. So it is a two-way street, and clients or prospects always go, whoa, I've never heard that before. Everybody's begging me for their business. But it's not that. It has to fit both ways. So now I say, okay, here are the features of your house. And this is a live example I just did last night. Features of the house here is that you have a separate building on your property, which is a massive garage. It fits 10 cars. It's got water, electricity. It's got a bar. It's got, beer pumps. It's got like an amazing place. So potentially you might be able to rent it out for events. You could rent it out for storage, or you could just keep it for yourself. So that's a really big feature of your property. You have a new kitchen, which is fantastic. It's been renovated, but you have actually upgraded your patio doors to be 8 feet wide. I've never seen that in a house, to be honest. It was one of the things I noticed right off the bat. So they were very proud of it, because they're like, oh, we're happy you noticed it, because that was a big thing for us. So great flooring. Your flooring is super nice. It's not this cheap vinyl stuff, whatever, throughout the house. You actually, when you renovated, you put something really nice in there. You, in your primary bedroom, have a walkout to the deck, because the deck is a massive deck that's along the back of the house, which is kind of cool. You have a gorgeous ensuite. One of the things about this particular homeowner is that they had customized a couple of different things that I had never seen before. So I was like, that's really good. Super very large deck. You've got a 30-year roof that's only 4 years old. You have an on-ground pool, which means it's half in the water, half above ground, half in the ground. Lower maintenance, and it's going to cost you less for maintenance and upgrades and whatever down the road. You have a 3-year liner, so you have a minimum of 7 years to go. You've got a beautiful hot tub outside in a great location. You're situated on a 5-acre property in a very good area. And your well water, I know, is an aquifer that's beautiful quality water. So we know that there's a lot less water treatment that needs to be done. Advantages of your house. Yeah, that was a duplicate. So that should have been advantages, not features, by the way. So I got to delete that. I don't know why it's there somehow. Anyway, objections. So these are some of the objections that buyers may have when they come to your property. The garage building, as you told me, does not have a permit. It was built by the previous owner. So it's covered under what you would consider title insurance. So the problem with that is that when somebody goes to do an appraisal of this property, a financial institution will not include that building in the appraisal. And that's probably about $100,000 worth. So if we're comparing the exact property to somebody else who has a permit for their garage, unfortunately, they're going to have to come up with that extra 100 grand of cash because they won't be able to finance it with that permit. The hot tub, it's as is, no big deal, but still it's as is. One of your bathrooms is an older bathroom. It has not been renovated. Your deck footings, unfortunately, they are not in ground with the cement cylinders that are the proper way of doing a deck. They're simply sitting on deck blocks. So a home inspector is going to bring that up, whether the buyer or not sees it when they walk through, but an inspector is going to see that. So just know that that's going to come up. Your basement has old carpet, older paint. So that's going to be a potential objections that we're going to see. So some of the solutions that we have for any of these objections are going to be, let's do a fresh coat of paint where needed, especially in the basement. We need to make sure that we do a deep clean. It's a clean house already, but let's make sure that we discuss what a deep clean is so that buyers, the biggest thing about buyers is that when they see something, it becomes an issue. What they don't see, they don't see. And what that means is that the grout between tile needs to be perfectly spotlessly clean. They won't notice that it's clean, but they will notice that it's dirty. And when they notice that it's dirty, it's going to reduce their emotional attachment to the house. Therefore, they're going to want to open their wallets less. Replace the basement carpet. Mr. and Mrs., you've already said you're going to do that, so that's fantastic. Updating the main bathroom. You've already told me that you did not want to do that, but that you are painting. So that's up to you, but just know that that is a potential solution that could get you more money for your house and potentially sell your house faster. And you could potentially go and get a building permit for the garage, but that is a whole can of worms. You bring that up to the city, they may say, nope, no permit for this. You got to destroy it in 30 days. So do you really want to go down that particular road? You really got to investigate that to a T. So with that in mind, I would say to them, is there anything you'd like to discuss or add to our lists or anything else? Nope, that sounds pretty good. Great. Let's do a market evaluation. So on the right, you can see there's a spreadsheet there. What I've created, and I show them the hard copy. I say what I've created here is a comparable property of yours. And I'm going to be looking at total square footage. I'm going to be looking at the kitchen, the family room, the bedroom, the bathrooms, the basement, what's the percentage of it being finished? Is there a rec room down there? What's the garage and the parking situations? Is there any pluses or minus that we have to give financially for the interior condition, exterior condition? We need to look at the year and the windows and the roof shingles because those are big replacement items. The fireplace, is it wood? Is it wet certified? Is it electric? Is it propane? We have to look whether you have central air. What is your heating fuel? And then above it, we look at what's the age of the home, the house style, the lot size, 5 acres versus 10 acres. What is land worth in this neighborhood, etc. So we're going to get all of that information. And this is where I present to them what I think the home valuation is going to be. Now, after we've talked about that, they're like, yeah, that's probably in line with what I thought, give or take $30,000 or $40,000. Usually we're pretty close to that. Okay, fantastic, great. Then I say, this is what I want to show you is these are my personal internal checklists. And once again, what you don't see, you don't know. So I want to show you how I organize myself in the background. And these are my personal checklists. And what they are, for example, pre-listing, before we list your home, I'm going to make sure that I give you the home enhancement list, a moving checklist. I'm going to get the Geo Warehouse report, which is a report. I'm also going to order the MPAC square footage of your home so that I can put that on MLS and I have an official document. I'm going to do a competitive market analysis, which we did in the last slide. We're going to show you the absorption rate. So of the homes that get listed in your area, how fast do they get absorbed? Meaning how fast do they sell? Are they selling within 30 to 60 days, which means it's a seller's market? Is it selling within 60 to 90 days, which is a neutral market? It's good for buyers and sellers. Or is it taking more than 90 days to sell, which means it's entering into a buyer's market? What I'm also going to do is get the list of realtors of everybody that has listed properties in the last 6 months in your area, but also which realtors brought buyers to the area. I can get a list of that, phone numbers, and when I list, I can start calling all of these people. So all that to say is this is my checklist and this is how I keep organized. And then when on the right-hand side is all the room measurements. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to say, is it hardwood? Is it ceramic? Is it laminate? Is it whatever? So we're going to go through all of that. So Tony, what's my timing like? Another minute or two, or?
Yeah, if you could wrap it up within the next 3 minutes or so, 2-3 minutes.
Excellent. Yeah, that's perfect. So whenever you receive marketing postcards, you're always going to see list your home with Eric. That's fine and dandy, but listing is a sign on your lawn. That's what listing is. So you don't want to list your house. You want to not only list it, but you actually want to sell it. So the biggest complaint I get is, yeah, the realtor put a sign on the lawn, never heard from them until we got an offer. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I'm telling you, from $500,000 homes to $2 million homes, this happens. So I say to my client, I am going to be your listing agent up until the time that the sign gets put on your lawn. At that point, my job is to sell your house. So first of all, we're going to do professional photography. I just did dust photography last night. You should see the pictures. They're phenomenal. We're going to do professional videos. We're going to do drone where we can. We're going to make sure that we stage your home. We're going to put a welcome mat on the front for people when they come here. We're going to do a professionally printed features booklet that's nice and heavy bound. We're going to do social media marketing. We're going to market to the Engel Invokers network. I'm going to call all the realtors who have listed and sold in your neighborhood. If need be, I'm going to knock on doors and see if they know of anybody who's interested in moving into your neighborhood. I'm going to provide an agent open house where I serve Prosecco, a charcuterie board, and I'm going to have real estate agents come in for 2 hours and experience your house the way I know your house best, because I'm the best person to sell your house because I know it more intimately than you. A buyer agent showing their client your house does not know your house as well as I do. We're going to host public houses if you can. I'm going to send out a power card mailer, which is your house and your house only. It's not going to be a mailer that markets Eric Perron. Call me if you want to sell your home. When you list with me and sell with me, it's about you and your home. So I'm not going to be touting my own marketing. I'm going to be trying to sell your house. So that power card is all about your house. And so what it is that people are going to take that to their place of work or wherever and maybe give it to somebody else to market for us. Negotiations are absolutely tantamount, so I'm going to always sharpen the saw with that. Selling is not stopping until it is sold at your price or better. These are some of the dusk shots in the top left that I did last year. So those are not artificial in any kind of way. The top left is actual live dusk photography. It's pretty cool. Bottom right, you can see that's a home that's been staged virtually. That's all digitally done. And then these are the postcards that I send out. And on the bottom two right there, that's the social media. You can see that the branding is so crisp and clear. And that's one of the reasons I like Engel Invokers is that our branding is, I think, top notch. It's been, given to us by Engel Invokers. It's not something that I created. I love having the marketing given to us. So this is my last slide. What are the next steps for you? The first and foremost is that you have to trust who you're hiring. And as you can tell, you are interviewing Eric. And when you hire Eric, I become your employee. Some people like to say, hey, we're now a team selling your house. I am not part of your team. I am your employee. And as an employee, I work for you. You dictate where you want to go based on the information that I provide to you. So you need to be able to trust me implicitly, or if you don't, you better hire somebody who you do trust implicitly. This is not about being friends. This is not about having a cold beer on a patio and saying, hey, we're buddy buddies. This is about business trust. You have to be 100% comfortable using me. You have to be 100% comfortable knowing that and liking the professionalism that I bring to the table. From there, we're going to determine what your listing date will be. We'll also determine what your ideal closing date would be so that we can work backwards. From that, we determine the dates of our photos, our videos, our print media, and our staging. And then what I'm going to do is give you a copy of the agreement of purchase and sale. That is going to be the offer document that we're going to receive at some point. That way, if you have any questions before we receive one, you can let me know. So now it brings us to the listing agreement. We can review it and sign it when you're ready. So that's it. All right, any questions? So that was pretty quick. I went pretty quick on that. So yeah,
Yes.
Sam, shoot.
Thanks for your presentation, Eric. Just a wondering update, what are the average, say, time and houses are selling right now in Ottawa?
Yeah, you're looking at closer to 60 days now.
60 days?
So yeah, so we're moving away from being a seller's market to being more of a neutral market. The last statistic that came out is that listings, the number of listings that are on MLS are 34% higher than last year for the month of April. So many more listings, but the caveat is sales, unit sales are only up 1.4%. So what does that mean? It means that people are taking a lot more time to make that decision if they should offer or not. It also is a reflection of sellers are still in some instances overpriced. And they're overpriced because they still have the COVID mentality. They still think that their home is worth a lot more than it is. And to give you a perfect example, on Old Almont Road, recently I looked at a house that was listed in the last 2 years at $1.75 million. I actually walked the property with some clients of mine at the time. It sold not that long ago for $950,000. That's the biggest discrepancy I've seen of what a seller thinks their home is worth versus what it actually is worth. And it was listed at $990. They sold it for $950. So all that to say is that sellers are still sometimes overpriced, and they need to be careful. When they're overpriced, it stagnates. I have a listing, I can say it publicly. I have a listing that we started at $579 in Riverside South. Then we reduced it to $569. And just yesterday, we reduced it to $565. That property, it would have been probably best if we started at a $569 or $565.
Okay. Eric, thank you very much. Great information.
I've got one. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Shoot, Steve.
Is there time? Just really quickly.
Yeah, I'll make it quick.
Yeah. It's actually, thank you for the presentation. It was very good. I have a very practical question because I might have a lead for you. If I were to give you a recommendation that goes beyond Ottawa, actually to the UK, I believe your company is international, is it not? And it's based in Europe?
100%. Yeah, you give me a lead and I will make sure I get a great person for it.
Okay.
The best thing to do is give me the lead. Let me know what kind of real estate they are. Are they like, you know, in the UK, are they $500,000 loft, or are they a $2 million, $3 million, $5 million home, so that we can make sure that we put them together with the right
Just give me a shout after the call and I'll give you the details.
Fantastic. Yeah. And for the benefit of other people that are listening, what I would simply do is I would call the broker owner manager of the office that is near that particular address. I would call them personally, pay my long distance charges, say, hey, I'm calling from Ottawa, Ontario, and I'm with England Volkers. I'd like to speak with somebody. Who do you think would be the best person for this particular criteria? So that's what we do here.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. In the UK, it's Eric and Volkers.
Yeah, exactly. Eh? Yeah.
Very good. Good one.
Well, thanks a lot, Eric. A great presentation.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate it.
Just going to wrap it up. We're at the top of the hour, folks, and we're right on time. And just as a reminder, in a few weeks, we're going to be meeting in person on the 30th. So already start thinking of people that you know that could come to this meeting personally. We had over 22 people last time. So that was a great visit. I know Jacqueline was there, and when she arrives and Penny Lee arrives, everything goes well. Everything's very calm, and it goes so smooth. So thank you, everybody. And we get our quote for the day is, "I can resist anything except temptation," by Oscar Wilde. So thanks everybody on Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and you have yourself a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week. Take care.